Today, I'm here to share my knowledge about the working of CBI, ED, and NCB. The circumstances of the demise of Bollywood actor Sushant Singh Rajput has led to a series of investigations. Currently, three central investigation agencies are working upon it. The CBI was given the duty of investigation by the Supreme Court. But as quickly as the drug connection was revealed, the Narcotics Control Bureau additionally started working upon the case. Later, when the angle of cash transaction got out, the Enforcement Directorate crew additionally joined this case. The three agencies are continuously interrogating and conducting raids throughout the investigation. In such a scenario, the question arises as to how do these agencies work? What is their method? Let's find it out. Central Bureau of Investigation. The Central Bureau of Investigation, functioning under Department of Personnel, Ministry of Personnel, Pension and Public Grievances, Government of India, is the premier investigating police agency in India. It is an allied force playing a major role in preservation of values in public life and in ensuring the health of the national economy. It is also the nodal police agency in India which coordinates investigation on behalf of Interpol member countries. Functions of CBI. CBI investigations have a major impact on political and economic life of the nation. The following broad categories of criminal cases are handled by the CBI. First, cases of corruption and fraud committed by public servants of all central government departments, central public sector undertakings, and central financial institutions. Second, economic crimes including bank frauds, financial frauds, import and export, and foreign exchange violations. Large-scale smuggling of narcotics, antiques, cultural property, and smuggling of other contraband items, etc. Special crimes such as cases of terrorism, bomb blasts, sensationals, homicide, kidnapping for ransom, and crimes committed by the mafia, the underworld. Jurisdiction of CBI vis-a-vis state police. Law and order is a state subject, and the basic jurisdiction to investigate crime lies with the state police. Besides, due to limited resources, CBI would not be able to investigate crimes of all kinds. CBI may investigate first cases which are essentially against central government employees or concerning affairs of the central government. Second, cases in which the financial interests of the central government are involved. Third, cases relating to the breaches of central laws with the enforcement of which the Government of India is mainly concerned. Fourth, big cases of fraud, cheating, embezzlement, and the like relating to the companies in which large funds are involved, and similar other cases when committed by organized gangs or professional criminals having ramifications in several states. Fifth, cases having interstate and international ramifications and involving several official agencies where from all angles it is considered necessary that a single investigating agency should be in charge of the investigation. Is CBI arrest different from police arrest? CBI arrest with or without warrant and its procedure is derived from the Code of Criminal Procedure Act 1973, which applies to every police officer making an arrest where an approval from the magistrate is required. If an arrest is made with a warrant, provisions of an arrest without a warrant are embedded in Section 41 of CRPC, which is also applicable to CBI officials. After making an arrest, CBI follows a prescribed investigative procedure governed by the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act 1946, stating the investigative power to the CBI. The DSPE also defines the jurisdiction under which the institution lies. Enforcement Directorate. The Enforcement Directorate was established in the year 1956. Its headquarters is situated at New Delhi. ED is responsible for enforcement of the Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999 and certain provisions under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. The Directorate is under the administrative control of the Department of Revenue under the Ministry of Finance for operational purposes. The Directorate enforced regulations under the Foreign Exchange Regulation Act 1973, which later got replaced by FEMA 1999. Functions of the Enforcement Directorate. First, investigate suspected violations of the provisions of the FEMA. Suspected violations include non-realization of export proceeds, purchase of assets abroad, possession of foreign currency in huge amount, non-repatriation of foreign exchange violations, and other forms of violations under FEMA. Second, collects, develops, and disseminates intelligence information relating to violations of FEMA 1999. The ED receives intelligence input from central and state intelligence agencies, complaints, etc. Third, has the power to attach assets of the culprits found guilty of the violation of FEMA. Attachment of the assets means prohibition of transfer, conversion, disposition, of movement of property by an order issued under Chapter 3 of the Money Laundering Act. Fourth, to undertake, search, seizure, arrest, prosecution action, and survey against offender of PMLA offence. To provide and seek mutual legal assistance to respective states in respect of attachment, confiscation of proceeds of crime and handed over the transfer of accused persons under the Money Laundering Act. Sixth, to settle cases of violation of the erstwhile FERA 1973 and FEMA 1999 and to decide penalties imposed on the conclusion of settlement proceedings. Ways of working, modus operandi. Work with upgraded systems and methods to improve work performance and remove outdated systems and methods. The team working for better communication with each other. The process of learning from global best practices to sharpen the investigation skills. Delegate tasks and strictly follow rules to deal with issue to get excellence in its working. Deals with all laws for which they are responsible and try to achieve the better results. Fair and reasonable investigation in all cases while investigating. It collects the facts and reveals the truth without any fear. Take right decision without favoring anyone. Fair action without bias. Does not allow the abusive power. The team is responsible for the consequences of their action and answerable for an outcome. Work with the discipline to achieve their goals. Narcotics Control Bureau. The Narcotics Control Bureau was created in March 1986. In terms of Section 4 Clause 3 of the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act 1985, which envisages an authority for taking measures with respect to such matters under the Act as may be specified by the central government, subject to the supervision and control of the central government. Functions of NCB. First, coordination of actions by various officers, state, government, and other authorities under the Principal Act. The Customs Act 1962, the Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940, and any other law for the time being enforced in connection with the enforcement of the Principal Act. Second, implementation of the obligations in respect of countermeasures against illicit traffic under various international conventions. Third, assistance to the concerned authorities in foreign countries and concerned international organizations with a view to facilitating coordination and universal action for prevention and suppression of illicit traffic in narcotic, drug, and psychotropic substances. Fourth, coordination of actions taken by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, the Ministry of Welfare and other concerned ministries, department or organizations in respect of matter relating to drug abuse. Search, powers, precautions and actions. Powers. Section 42 empowers the Drug Law Enforcement Officer to search, seize and arrest in an enclosed place like a private house, godown, office or a garage. While Section 43 empowers him to search, seize and arrest in a public place like a railway station, bus terminus, airport, highway and the like. Precautions and actions as a standard practice as soon as the team makes an entry. All male and female members in the premises should be placed in different rooms and the communication equipments like phones, mobiles, etc. should be mobilized. Physical search must be carried out for detecting possible concealment of the offending goods or incriminating documents. Safety hazards like guns, knives, etc., if found on their person, should be kept secured. All the rooms, furniture, furnishings, fitments, conveyances, etc. in the premises must be searched in the presence of the owner or his or her representative and witnesses. It will be extremely useful to carry a sniffer dog trained to detect drugs for such operations. Dogs can smell drugs much faster and better than any human, and hence the entire search operation can be completed much faster. Sniffer dogs not trained to detect drugs, such as those only trained to detect explosives, will not be of any use. If the DLEO does not have a sniffer dog, he should explore the possibility of taking help of any sister law enforcement organization which may have such dogs. The DLEO must ensure his team is courteous and helpful to the ladies, children, and senior citizens in the premises. Sometimes the senior citizen or females claim some severe physical discomfort, which might be an attempt to stall proceedings and create distractions. Nevertheless, the DLEO should get them searched to ensure that they are not in possession of any incriminating articles, documents, or assets, and then allow them to go to a doctor nearby under the watchful eyes of a team member or a relative. Arrest, actions and precautions during custody of arrestee. Section 37, Clause A of the NDPS Act stipulates that every offence punishable under this Act shall be cognizable. The DLEO should arrest a person after establishing prima facie on the basis of recovery and seizure, statement made by him and other person and other documentary evidence or otherwise available that he has committed an offence punishable under NDPS. He should prepare a written arrest memo stating the grounds of his arrest, date and time of arrest, and inform the arrestee of the grounds of his arrest. Guidelines. The DLEO should comply with the guidelines set forth by the Supreme Court of India in the case of D.K. Basu versus State of West Bengal, the highlights of which are as under. Officers interrogating the arrestee must bear their ID and name tags with designations, and names should be maintained in a register. The officer carrying out the arrest must prepare a memo at the time of arrest, which should be signed by at least one witness who will either be a family member of the arrestee or a respectable citizen of the locality. The arrestee has to countersign the memo, which must contain the date and time of his arrest. The arrestee is entitled to have at least one friend or family member interested in his welfare informed about his arrest and the place of his detention. If the arrestee belongs to another district or town, the legal aid of that district or the police station of the locality should be informed about the date, time of arrest, and place of detention telegraphically within 8 to 12 hours after his arrest. The arrestee should be medically examined at the time of arrest, and any major or minor injuries must be recorded in an inspection memo, which must be signed by the arresting officer and the arrestee. A copy of the inspection memo is given to the arrestee. Thereafter, the arrestee must be examined every 48 hours while he is in custody. Precaution. A person after his arrest must be produced before a magistrate without unnecessary delay, but within 24 hours of his arrest in accordance with the law. The arresting officer who has signed the arrest memo is deemed to have his custody till his production before the magistrate. Therefore, he is responsible for the arrestee's safety and well-being. The arrestee must always be kept inside and away from places where he can try to escape or play mischief.